Have you ever felt a voice inside you, quiet yet persistent, guiding you, warning you, or even comforting you, but you couldn't quite understand what it was saying? That subtle whisper, that inner nudge, is not just your thoughts, it's the language of your soul trying to communicate with you. And yet, most of us go through life ignoring it, missing the messages that could transform our entire existence. Imagine for a moment if you could understand that language, truly hear it, and let it guide every decision you make, every path you choose. Life wouldn't just be lived. It would be experienced on a deeper, richer level. The language of the soul is not spoken in words. It doesn't rely on logic, facts, or reason alone. Instead, it speaks in feelings, instincts, and subtle energies that ripple through your body. You may notice it as a sudden pause in your heart, a tightening in your chest, or even a calm that settles over you when a choice feels right. These are not coincidences. They are your soul's way of signaling alignment with your true purpose. And the fascinating part? Science is beginning to uncover this mysterious connection between our inner guidance and our overall well-being. Studies show that people who listen to their intuition, who align their choices with their inner self, experience less stress, deeper satisfaction, and a stronger sense of meaning in life. But why do so many of us ignore these messages? The answer is surprisingly simple: noise. Life is loud, constantly demanding our attention. The world outside is filled with opinions, judgments, and distractions that drown out the subtle voice within. And yet, even in the chaos, the soul speaks softly, persistently, waiting for us to tune in. Imagine if you could recognize the signs, the tiny signals, the whispers that guide you every day. Your decisions would no longer be based on fear or habit, but on clarity and truth. And here's a secret: the language of the soul is universal. No matter your background, culture, or beliefs, this language is available to every human being. But like any language, it requires practice, attention, and patience. You have to learn to notice the patterns, trust the feelings, and act on them, even when the world says otherwise. Every time you listen and respond, the connection grows stronger, deeper, and more undeniable. You start to see life not as a random sequence of events, but as a guided journey, where every challenge and every joy carries a message specifically for you. Take a moment now and ask yourself, when was the last time you truly listened to that inner voice? Not just superficially, but with complete presence and attention. Because the truth is, the moment you begin to understand this language, life begins to unfold in ways you never imagined. And if you want to discover the power of this inner guidance, stay with me as we dive deeper into understanding how to decode the messages of your soul and truly live the life you were meant to live. Now that you've begun to recognize that subtle inner voice, the next question is, how do you actually understand it? How do you decode the language of your soul so that it becomes more than just fleeting feelings or occasional instincts? The truth is, it's a process one that blends awareness, patience, and self-reflection. And once you start practicing it, you'll notice a shift in every area of your life, from your relationships to your career, and even your sense of purpose. The first step is awareness. Most people go through life reacting without truly paying attention to their internal guidance. They make decisions based on habit, fear, or external expectations. But your soul communicates constantly through subtle emotions, recurring thoughts, dreams, and even bodily sensations. When you feel drawn towards something or feel a sense of unease, pause. Don't dismiss it. These are signals, messages, and sometimes warnings that your inner self is sending. Begin to journal your experiences. Write down the moments when something felt intuitively right or wrong. Over time, patterns will emerge, and you'll start to recognize the unique language your soul uses. The second step is tuning in. Just as a radio needs to be adjusted to receive a clear signal, your mind must quiet down to hear the whispers of your soul. Meditation, deep breathing, or simply moments of stillness can help. In those quiet spaces, The noise of daily life fades, and the subtle nudges of your inner self become clearer. You'll begin to notice when a thought or feeling arises, not as a random event, but as a message that deserves attention. This is not magic. It is a natural skill, rooted in mindfulness and self-awareness, and anyone can develop it. The third step is trust. Perhaps the most challenging part of understanding the language of the soul is believing that it knows what is best for you. Society teaches us to rely on logic, evidence, and external approval. But your inner guidance has a wisdom far beyond that. When you follow it, even in small ways, you begin to experience synchronicities and flow in your life. Doors open, relationships shift positively, and you feel a sense of alignment that cannot be explained by chance alone. Trust is built over time. Start small and notice the results. And here's a subtle yet powerful practice. Pay attention to recurring dreams, feelings, and sudden insights. These are often coded messages from your soul, guiding you toward clarity, healing, or decisions you need to make. The more you act on these subtle cues, the stronger your connection becomes. Life stops feeling random and begins to feel orchestrated, purposeful, and deeply fulfilling. Before we move further, I want you to take a moment and consider this. What if every decision you made from now on was guided by your soul's wisdom? How different would your life feel if fear, doubt, and external pressures no longer dictated your choices? Imagine the confidence, peace, and clarity you would experience. This is not a distant dream, it is accessible to you right now. And in the next part, we'll explore the practical ways to communicate with your soul daily, strengthening this connection so that guidance becomes a natural part of your life. Now that you understand the importance of awareness, tuning in, and trust, the next step is learning how to actively communicate with your soul every single day. This isn't about reading mystical signs or waiting for dramatic moments. It's about small, consistent practices that cultivate a deep and lasting connection. Think of it like building a friendship. The more time, attention, and sincerity you invest, the stronger and more intuitive it becomes. The first practice is reflection. Every morning or evening, take a few quiet moments to check in with yourself. Ask honest questions. How am I feeling today? What choices feel aligned with my inner truth? What is my soul trying to tell me right now? Don't rush this process or force answers. Simply observe. Your soul speaks in subtleties through a feeling of ease, a spark of excitement, or even discomfort. By pausing daily and reflecting, you create a space where these messages can surface clearly. Next is conscious decision-making. Once you've started noticing these subtle cues, you must act on them, even in small ways. Maybe it's choosing to speak your truth in a conversation, or taking a different route that feels right, or saying no when your inner self resists a demand. Every time you honor your intuition, you're sending a signal to your soul. I am listening. I trust you. Over time, these choices build a feedback loop, strengthening the connection and making your inner guidance more precise and reliable. Another transformative practice is mindful observation. Throughout your day, pay attention to what excites you, what drains you, and what resonates with your heart. Your soul communicates constantly, not just in moments of quiet, but in the rhythm of daily life. Notice patterns who you feel drawn to, what activities feel effortless, and which thoughts create tension. These observations are like breadcrumbs, leading you to greater understanding of your desires, purpose, and authentic path. Gratitude is also a powerful tool. Expressing genuine appreciation for even the smallest moments of insight reinforces your connection. Gratitude opens the heart and aligns your energy with receptivity. It's like tuning a radio to a clearer frequency. The more gratitude you cultivate, the easier it becomes to hear the subtle signals of your soul. Finally, remember that mistakes and missteps are part of the process. Listening to your soul is a skill, and it takes time to refine. Sometimes you'll ignore a nudge or misinterpret a feeling. That's okay. Each moment is a lesson, each choice a step toward mastery. The key is persistence and curiosity. The more you engage, the more attuned you become, until eventually, following your inner guidance becomes effortless, natural, and deeply rewarding. Take a moment now and imagine your life if you fully integrated these practices. Every day guided by your inner wisdom. Every decision aligned with your deepest truth. Peace replacing anxiety, clarity replacing doubt, and purpose replacing confusion. That is the power of learning the language of your soul. And in the next part, we'll explore the transformational impact this connection can have on your relationships, career, and overall fulfillment, revealing how your soul's guidance doesn't just influence you, it shapes everything around you. Practice daily communication with your soul. It's time to explore the transformational power this connection can have on your entire life. Because understanding the language of your soul isn't just about feeling calm or inspired. It's about creating a life that resonates with your deepest truth, a life that feels purposeful, meaningful, and aligned in every way. When you consistently listen to your soul, you begin to notice changes in your relationships. You become more empathetic, more patient, and more authentic. You stop seeking validation from others because you're anchored in your inner guidance. This doesn't mean conflict disappears, but it does mean you approach challenges with clarity rather than reaction. You naturally attract people and opportunities that resonate with your energy and values, while those that don't begin to fall away. Your soul acts as a compass, guiding you toward connections that nurture and support your growth. In your work and daily responsibilities, the impact is equally profound. Decisions become easier because you're no longer guessing or acting out of fear. Your intuition steers you toward actions that align with your strengths, passions, and true calling. Over time, this alignment increases productivity, creativity, and satisfaction. Even challenges feel manageable because you trust your inner guidance to show the next step, even when the path isn't clear. Life begins to feel less like a series of random events and more like a journey with a clear, meaningful direction. The emotional transformation is perhaps the most powerful aspect. When you honor your soul's messages, stress diminishes, anxiety fades, and a profound sense of peace emerges. You stop resisting life's flow and start embracing it. Moments of uncertainty are no longer terrifying. They become invitations to listen, learn, and grow. Your inner voice becomes your anchor, your guide, and your source of unwavering support. You no longer feel lost because your soul provides a map even when the road ahead is unseen. But the true beauty of this connection lies in its ripple effect. By tuning in and living authentically, you influence the world around you. Your actions, your choices, and your energy radiate outward, inspiring others to listen to their own inner guidance. You become a living example of what is possible when you honor your deepest self. It's not just a personal journey, it's a transformational path that impacts families, communities, and even the unseen energies that shape our collective experience. Take a moment now to imagine this fully. Every day guided by your soul, every choice infused with clarity and purpose, every challenge met with confidence, every relationship deepened by authenticity. This is not a distant dream, it's entirely within your reach. And it all begins with the willingness to listen, trust, and act on the language of your soul. So today, I invite you to pause, close your eyes, and ask your inner voice a question that matters. Listen carefully, without judgment or doubt. Your soul has been waiting to speak to you, and the moment you start listening, everything changes. Your life is ready to transform one whisper at a time.